Good morning. My name is Sandy. I'm with the Dwight Foster Public Library, and I wanted to share some nonfiction titles that I've been reading. This one is Troop 6000, and it's written by Nikita Stewart. And Nikita was doing a report on homelessness in New York City, and she was visiting shelters, and she met a woman named Giselle Burgess, who was serving Thanksgiving dinner as a Girl Scout leader with her troop, and several of her daughters are part of that troop. And later, about a year later, the author meets Giselle again when she herself is homeless with her 5 children. So this is really a story of Giselle and her experience becoming homeless, and how when she was living in a shelter in New York with her family, she realizes these children that are living there aren't really able to experience a lot of a normal childhood. And so she is driven to bring the Girl Scouts to the homeless shelters of New York City. And the author follows her journey and actually hangs around with them for about a year. So it's a book that sheds light on homelessness, and hopefully this will aid in removing the stigma from that condition. It was a very interesting read, and it's one of hope, perseverance, and love. And these young girls love being part of the Scouts, and it brought back many memories. I was a Scout myself. My mother was a troop leader, so I think you'll enjoy this book. It's heartwarming, and now today there are 20 homeless shelters in New York that have Girl Scout troops, and this is all thanks to Giselle Burgess. So very inspiring read. The nonfiction title I'm reading currently, so I'm only about 40 pages in, is Bohemians, and this is written by Norman Ohler, and he follows a young man. His name is Haro Schulze Boysen, and his girlfriend, later his wife, Libertas Haas Hei. And these two young people fall in love in a time of great terror when Germany is being taken over by the Nazi regime. And they create a resistance network within Berlin of other like-minded people who are driven by the love of their country and exhibit incredible bravery. And it's a story of how they fight that new regime in Berlin. And you'll be drawn into this terror. And don't skip the foreword. It's really revealing about the author. So I highly recommend this title, and I look forward to finishing it. Another book that I've recently read is Overdressed. This is by Elizabeth Klein, and Elizabeth investigates the fast fashion in America and what's taking place really around the world, and how it's impacting the world and our environment and the people who work in the apparel industry. The apparel industry is enormous. It's $2.5 trillion industry, and employs millions of people. Most of them are young women, and it has an impact on our environment, on pollution, and on your health as well. So she follows where the garment is made to the consumer, and then what happens to it when we discard that item. And this is a fascinating story and quite an eye-opener. And she apparently was then approached by so many people of, what do you do? How do we do this differently? We do have power with our dollar. So she followed this book up with her most recent title called The Conscious Closet. And in this title, she has lots of tips and recommendations on how you can have a conscious closet and not feel guilty every time you open the closet to get dressed. And you will find tips from as simple as how to launder them so that you reduce your carbon footprint. And I'm reading labels like I never read them before about where it's made and the fabric. You will become more informed about what happens when you donate to Goodwill with your worn out items, and in what conditions you should do that. And she has all sorts of constructive suggestions on where you can buy, because this is a growing market of people who would like to be more thoughtful about their purchases and are more aware of the impact that has on our environment and on those people working in the apparel industry. So I hope you will enjoy one of these, and we have many more. Be sure to come down to the library. We'd be happy to help you find your next title. So thank you.